My name is Dale and I do it so well. I'm a super fresh when I come fresh to death. Everybody in the building knowing my name. I got her number on my phone. I got game, I got fresh, I got style. Say less. Do you know how deep into a culture you have to be for them to name stuff
chicken after you?
That's crazy. That's so chicken. I can understand like a sandwich, but just I was like, this is deep. This is deeper than any of us realize right now. Let's go. Check. She ain't gotta tell me what to do with it. I already know.
Hello and welcome to another TV episode of Atila TV. Our guest for today is Del Got Game.
Hey.
So Del is a recent grad of Western University in the Political Science and Economics program.
Yes.
But when he's not doing all that and getting that degree, he is also a rapper, R&B singer, alternative soul singer, and a writer.
All these things are true.
So, and an actor.
And an actor too.
That's not true.
And this guy's a comedian apparently. And then, so without further ado, Del Got Game. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Thank you guys. Is this why are you gonna put some applause in here? Like
no applause.
Okay,
keep
cool.
it real.
Cool.
The first question I always like to start off with:
Mm-hmm.
Del at 16. What were you like at 16 years old?
What was I like at 16? What year was that? Honestly, it's a little tough to like keep all that stuff straight because I move around so much.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't even think of it that way. I think like 2005 I know where I was. 2010 I know where I was. So wait, let me just quick calculation.
Quick
That's
maths.
like 9 years ago.
High school. Think of high school. Where were you in high school? Grade 11 or grade 12?
Oh yeah, true. I understand. Okay, so grade 11 I was in Kenya. Yeah, I was in Kenya at the time. At a school called St. Andrew's Turi, and it's like a 3-hour drive from Nairobi. So yeah, I was just doing that. I was actually, all this stuff, like music and everything else was not even, like I did it for fun,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like I was in musical theater, like that was my whole background from when I was 6 years old to that point. But my main focus was just school. I was thinking like, how can I position myself to enter law school like way down the line? That was really it.
So grade 11, grade 12, you're thinking about going to law school.
And that was it.
What kind of music were you listening to in Kenya at the time?
Interestingly enough, I had a friend introduce me to a lot of alternative music. Like, let me think of the bands. Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Who else was there? Slipknot.
Slipknot.
Well, it's not alternative, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
all that kind of
I
stuff.
know
Who else? Hoobastank. Like a lot of rock bands, really.
Right.
Funny enough. And I got into that first in terms of what my friends exposed me to. Before that, my parents said like my dad liked to play a lot of 70s, 80s music. It's like Fela Kuti from Nigeria or Sting from the UK. Who else? Kenny G, the saxophone player.
Right.
So it was like an eclectic blend of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wasn't partial to anything in particular, but I like, checking everything out.
What, like personality-wise? Like, so you say you were at that point, grade 11, grade 12,
Mm-hmm.
you're thinking about going into law school.
Yes.
So, like, personality-wise, like, what was your temperament like? What kind of friends did you hang out with? Grade 11, grade 12. What did you do for fun?
That's the time. Honestly, that period of my life, I think I laughed more than I ever have.
Wow.
Ever. Every day was a joke with those guys, to be honest. It was a very, very good time in terms of just like obviously you take class and everything serious, but like after that, always like good vibes, good times. I'm trying to think of how to, I guess, make that less generic. What were we even doing at that time? Because there was no social media or anything like that, it was a boarding school. So it was like a small city unto itself.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it was like university before university.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very easy to form those kinds of relationships. And I say that because before that I went to day school and I could tell the difference between you're with your friends from like, school start to school end,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go home, family stuff again.
Yeah.
Maybe you see people on the weekend or like sometimes after school, to boarding school, and every day you're with the same people all the time.
That's right.
So like you build different kinds of relationships through that, and it was just interesting seeing that and growing. I feel like I was aware of that at the time as well.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting process.
Is this the third country you've lived in, like Canada?
Lived in, let's see. So I was born in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And then I moved to
Where in
Mauritius. Lagos.
Same. Shout out Lagos.
Called the Mandem. Alright. So I was born in Lagos. I lived in Nigeria until I was 8.
Yep.
8ish, and then I moved to Mauritius, which is an island close to Madagascar.
Right.
And then I moved to Kenya. And then I moved to Tanzania.
Oh my gosh.
And then back to Kenya for a little bit for us to pack our stuff. Like I was in the same school in Kenya at the time. I just moved in between.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came to Canada in 2011.
So you think has that like all those cultures affected your music?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like even in terms of like the sonics, I feel like I'm comfortable in a lot of spaces, and I don't want to pigeonhole myself into thinking, okay, now I'm a rapper, and I'm only gonna do hard stuff.
Exactly.
And that's really where my head is. Or like, oh, I like singing, so let me go the Frank Ocean or Daniel Caesar route. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
like
usual.
all those things are cool in and of themselves.
Yeah.
But because I've been exposed to different things, I'm like, I feel like I have it in me to even create a sound that's not here right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to keep that as a goal.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
people hear things from me now, but I don't think that's where I'll be in the next 2 or 3 projects.
That's right.
So you did your grade 12 in Kenya.
Yes. I did it there and here.
Okay, so
So
then
half and half?
Sorry.
Like half and half type of thing?
No, like I finished grade 12,
Yeah.
and then we moved over here. And then when they were looking at where to put me, they put me in grade 12 here, even though I could have
Okay.
conceivably gone to university straight as well.
Right.
But then I was like, I want to see what the culture is like a little bit.
Yeah.
Before you go
Like
to-
test the waters, yeah.
Kind
So then when it was time for you to go into like pick schools and all that kind of stuff, you used political science at Western.
Mhm.
Why that program? Why that school?
I like the campus a lot. I like the feel. I was trying to go off that because I was like, in my mind, I asked myself, what difference really is there in terms of the education itself? Is there really going to be a difference between going to Western versus Queens
Yeah.
or U of T? Like, even if there's a difference, is it like enough to say I should go here instead of here?
Yeah.
So I was trying to do it based off feel, like knowing that that would have been the case. So that's why I eventually picked Western. I just felt like, oh, you know what, this school feels right. As far as the program, I wanted to do what I was interested in. Excuse me. Like some people don't know, but I actually went to Lakehead University for a year, and then I transferred over to Western.
Yeah.
And I was doing business commerce there before I transferred over, and it was nice, but I just felt like, well, for one, the location was way too far away from home, so I had to come back. And then, but secondly, I was like, I want to do something. I feel like if I do something that I like and I do well in it, I'll be good when I finish. And I just felt comfortable making that decision.
Mhm.
So that's what led me to political science and economics, and even going through class, I was like, this is the stuff I like to pay attention to.
Mhm. So I know, like, you were gonna ask a question.
No, you can go ahead.
I noticed that because I listened to you perform. I was actually when you were at the Kaisa. No, you were at the Kainai
Yeah. Yes.
Taiwanese night market,
Mhm.
and I heard you perform.
Mhm.
And I've also been at the BSA Culture Train. You also performed there.
Yeah.
So what was that transition from I want to be a law school, I want to go to law school and be a lawyer,
Mhm.
to performing and becoming an artist? Like, how did that transition? When did you realize?
Or is there even a transition, or do you want to do both? You know what I mean?
I kind of do. I still want to do both.
Yeah.
Why I feel like there was no transition is because I have the background of musical theater.
I mean, like, when did you start performing? Like in front of crowds and stuff.
When I was like 5, 6.
Oh, so you've always been performing.
Always been.
Oh,
So
okay.
it wasn't anything new where it's like, okay, now I'm going to like take something I feel like I can do and give it to. I was like, I've done this before.
Yeah.
I've done this in front of like packed auditoriums when I was a kid before.
Right.
It's not really that different doing my own original stuff.
So then if you want to be an artist, you want to be a rapper, why not go full throttle? Like, why do you need university? Why do you want to be a lawyer?
I feel like education would be good. Well, okay, I guess would I say 3 reasons? The first is education is important. I wanted to know something. And not just like feel like I know it. I want to actually go to school and be like, okay, I've done enough courses in this where I feel like I'm comfortable with this set material. And then learning anything, you build a skill set from there that you can transfer over to anything else, like, you know, discipline, perseverance, resilience, all these kinds of skills. The other thing I would say is networking. I don't know if there's a better place where you can meet like minds than university. Especially like a guitarist I work with a lot. His name is Chris O'Day. Shout out Chris O'Day if he ever
Shout out
sees this. You know, I met him at Western. We were both softs, like the volunteering program where you help a lot of first years get into university culture and stuff. We were both softs. We met and we've been performing since, and we still perform together now. Actually, I'm gonna see his show on the 16th. Am I plugging Chris? This is crazy.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's performing at the Baby G on the 16th of June. This was not the plan. And it's interesting to me just looking back and thinking, would I have met someone who does this outside of university?
That's right.
Or would I have been able to build a relationship? I don't know about that. And even from the people we know, like our mutuals, people who play music or are into it, I don't know that we would have done those things if we were both either out of university doing other things. So that's something I saw with hindsight. But I feel like looking back on it, that was a very good decision as it pertained to music as well as education.
That's right.
So if you want to be a musician and you want to be a lawyer, like, so you just want to go to law school, get a law degree and all that stuff, how do you plan on balancing both of those things?
It's one of those things where it's, how do I say, one step and then the next and then the next.
You're going to take it as it goes.
Take it as it comes.
I have to, because there's no real blueprint. Like I know artists, or like I look into a lot of the rappers or any entertainer I listen to, really, I try to look into their backstory a bit to see why and how and all this kind of stuff. A fair few have done school and then gone into music.
Yeah.
Like enough to make me think, wait a second, this should be a norm. Why does this sound like an exception? These guys just don't say it.
Yeah.
2 Chainz has been to school,
That's right.
done well. J. Cole went to school, did well. Lil Wayne went to school, did well. So I'm like, wait a second, like this should be common knowledge
Yeah.
to know that you can go and get your education and then dip out and like really not follow your passion in like a cliche sense, but follow it in the sense where you're like, okay, how do I add value to
That's right.
to this industry now?
I see what you're saying with the undergrad,
Mm-hmm.
but then when you now say, okay, now I want to go to law school, in my
Let's
head,
take it to another level.
not even
It
just
is.
think to another level. There's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah,
You're
That's
spending, let's say you're spending 6 hours studying for your LSAT and 6 hours in the studio. Someone else is spending those 12 hours in the studio.
Yeah.
So
they're probably not better than me though.
Oh.
Like, it's
No,
not-
but like,
This
I know how
track
that
coming up
sounds.
soon.
it's not
Like-
about district, but like
No.
whether or not like that's your opinion, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like they're putting in the work and you're not.
That's true, and I feel you in that sense. That's even why like all this. Actually, you know what? I think it's actually really good you said that. This last year, no, 2 years ago, I feel like I did this in an unofficial way. But if I look back, I've probably written enough of this down. There were some things I wanted to make sure I was doing as far as being a performer, musician, all those things to grow my own skill set. So like 2 years ago, I was like, okay, you know what? I need to perform as much as physically possible while I'm in school. In my 2 years ago, whatever that was. And just get comfortable with it, because I felt like performing was something I already had a natural talent for, aptitude for, but I was like, I need to do this every day, different conditions, full auditorium, one person, different my songs, covers, going between transitions. I was thinking like, as a performer, how can I be the best here?
Yeah.
How can I be the best alive as fast as possible in a holistic sense?
Yeah.
And that was really what that year was for. This year was more like, okay, I've done this, I'm comfortable with this. You can wake me up at 3 a.m. and I feel like I can give you at the very least a 90% my best show. I can do that now because I know what it's going to be like. Now the next thing is, how do I network and find myself opportunities where I can like give my best people to the most people possible, give my best self to the most people possible.
Yeah.
And that was really the aim for that. So I was like, okay, that was good. And now the aim is, okay, even if I have a lot less time, I built that skill set, so if you put me somewhere, I already have a set list that I feel like I can put up against anyone's, no matter where I am. If I'm opening for, if you told me tomorrow you have to open up for Drake,
Yeah.
do you not be comfortable? I won't even feel stressed because I've done
Really?
it. No, because I'm like, I have a
There's
set
hundreds
list.
of thousands of people?
Sorry, say again?
Or there's like thousands of people?
It'll be fine. And I'm not even just saying it to say it. Like, because of my track record and the shows I played,
Yeah.
what I should have brought like my laptop with me. I have an Excel spreadsheet of all the shows I've done over the last 2 years,
Right.
and it's gone like I've done at least 60 now.
So you're
No,
just
no matter the
comfortable
scale,
with it.
super comfortable. So it's like, and I have a set list of stuff I'm comfortable saying this music is
Wow.
good enough.
But you didn't answer my question though.
Oh no, I'm getting to that now.
Okay.
So now that I've done all that, I'm like, I need to get it to the point where even if I have a little bit of time in a day to grow a skill set, I've already mastered the things that if when it comes push comes to shove, this is good. I can now, if I was going to law school and I couldn't make any more music, but all I was doing was playing shows, that's possible.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes, okay, you go to school. Let's even say say it the other way. 6 hours in school, or however long it is. Let's even say another 4 hours studying, and then I have a show to play. All I need then is rehearsal time, and play the show, and then I'm back.
Let's ask this question a different way.
Mm-hmm.
What are your ambitions as an artist?
Greatest alive.
So this is what I'm saying, man. Like if you say, because it's like I'm asking you this question, but it's also like asking myself this question, right? Where I have a company, but I was working 9 to 5, and I know that like when I'm not putting work in my company, I'm basically sacrificing. It's gonna take me longer, and I may not get as high as I want to get.
Yeah.
You say you want to be the greatest alive, and that's amazing to say. And I love that you have that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're not putting in the work though. That's my concern. Yeah, I'm wondering about.
Now, okay, when you say putting in the work, I want to make sure I understand.
Because I feel like at that point now you have like tied allegiances, if you will.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like your time is like instead of you go like I was thinking Kanye West and Drake.
Yeah.
One of the things I know about these two artists is they're dedicated to the max.
Yeah.
Like they work very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, you say you want to be the greatest alive, but again, in the 12 hour, let's say 12 hour workday, you're only spending 6 of those hours on music, and another 6 hours trying to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
But someone else is putting their full 12 hours
on the music,
and then you think that you're gonna like progress faster than them, but you're not putting the work that they're putting in.
I'm gonna have to be way more efficient because I can't. If it's a time thing, I have to see like how can I still compete with this person when I'm putting in less time. I think it's possible. I think it is
You
possible.
say you want to be the greatest alive, then why does the law school come in? Why not just focus on music?
And just
Why do you still want to go to law school if you want to be the greatest alive musician?
that's something I also want to do. And it's like I don't really see any reason why. At least so far, I'm like, okay,
You can do both. Yeah, that is true.
and that's how I felt. Because if that was the case, I should have said to myself, okay, I don't even necessarily need undergrad because I feel like I'd be so great at this. But I value education and I think it's good. Not that you're saying like it's not good. But
Also, by the way, people always confuse.
Yeah.
Education and schooling are two different
Yeah.
things.
No, true.
That's
I'm with you. I like, at least when I'm saying education, I want to say I see it from a skill set point of view.
No, it's not a skill set. It's credentials.
Okay, no, let's even say that. Okay, credential point of view. If I become a lawyer and I keep doing the music thing the way I'm doing, I'll be able to do a lot of stuff and understand a lot of stuff myself that I might have to outsource if I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I become more. I have a unique set of skills that I feel like will position me well in the industry. Great if it all goes the way I think it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in the long term, it's better to set myself up for that than to say, you know what, let me just focus on the one or the other.
That's right.
At least to me. And until I see a point where I'm like, you know what, this can't be done, I'm confident to say like, okay, let me keep going, ask people questions about how they balance some their interests and say education or whatever it is, and see how they go from there. Even like this last semester, I went to Fasken, the law firm that's somewhere close downtown here, and I was talking to one of the lawyers there. That guy actually, his story was actually quite interesting because he after high school, he made a band, and they toured and they made music for maybe 6 or 7 years.
Right.
And he entered law school when he was 27. Mm-hmm. So it was just interesting to see, like, he had done this for so long, and then he realized, oh wait, okay, this is good. They got signed. They actually made it decently far in the industry and everything else. They opened for notable people, this, that, and the third. And then he was like, okay, now I want to try this law school thing and see how it can go. And it was interesting to me that he was like, oh, I was like, okay, so this is someone who, you're not doing it at the same time, but he's able to, he did this, and then he did this, and then he didn't, like,
but I think he also
got to where he wanted to.
And I think he also had to accept the reality that, like, he had to probably sacrifice some of his goals in music in order to do this law school.
That's true. That's true.
But I also, okay, continue.
No, because I was going to say that, like, basically, like, let's say he's at this level as an artist, right?
Yeah.
And so, okay, I'm going to go do law school now.
Mm-hmm.
If his goal was to get here, like you said, greatest in the world levels here, if he stopped, like, he basically has to sacrifice getting to this level in order to go do law school.
That's true.
Which is, like, you know, just something to think about, right?
No, you're right. And all this is, like, aspiration, but it depends on how I see things going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm comfortable saying this because of how things have gone to this point. Because I've only really been doing music like the way I'm doing now this is the second summer. And in my mind, I'm like, I already have 2 EPs, 2 summers, they've done well, I've played shows, I've gone to schools, I've performed. And, like, just looking at the feedback, I can see that I'm connecting with people in the crowd. It's just about, okay, how do I get the marketing right? How do I grow the brand right? I'm like, okay. So it seems as if I need the other things, not the music, to be good at what I'm doing. And as it pertains to writing and actually making the content, that's not a problem. People have seen me in my elements, worked with me, and been like, I've never seen this before. Yeah. Not even to... And I used to think to myself, I wonder if other people can do what I do, can write like this quickly, can write this quickly with this much depth and give this much originality over and over and over and over again. Yeah. The only people I've ever seen talk about doing that, at least at the top level, Kendrick, I've seen him talk about doing that. Kehlani, the singer, I've seen her talk about doing that. Yeah. I haven't even really seen Drake, but I've seen J. Cole talk about doing that in a certain sense. Like writing extremely quickly. But the depth and the quality of what they do, and they do it over, like, if you ask me to write a song now, I give you one, and then I jump to another one, and then another one, and I'm not drained, and I can keep going. That was something, even before I knew I wanted to be a pro, like, I was like, just for fun, I was like, I wonder how fast.
You said you don't think Drake can do that?
Drake doesn't even write his own songs.
I've never seen him talk about. I think he's exceptionally talented. I don't know if he can do it the same. He just never said it. Maybe he can.
Do you believe Drake writes his own songs?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just a performer.
You don't think he writes any of his songs?
I do. And the reason I say that is because
maybe a couple.
Before he had backing. So far gone has to be written by Drake.
Yeah. So you say like he thinks Drake doesn't write his own music. I think he writes at least some of his own music.
I think he writes them. I don't know about now. I think he wrote the majority of his music at a time, and I think he still has top tier songwriting ability. Mm-hmm. I think it's undeniable. I really do. And even more important than that, he's one of the best arrangers of music.
That's what I'm gonna say too, man.
For sure.
And his work ethic is there, and distribution. Like, dude, this guy's smart. I wish I tweeted this guy. I told all my friends and family, but I didn't tweet this. Mm. I knew that the second after the NBA Finals, the last game, he was gonna drop a song.
Oh yeah,
because this guy's smart. You understand? Everyone in Toronto is watching Drake every single day.
Yep.
I know people who literally live on Drake's Instagram. Of course, he's gonna drop a song he has the most attention.
So crazy, man.
Genius marketing mind.
He's basically the face of Toronto.
He is of Canada in a sense.
In a lot of ways, yeah. So another thing I was thinking about too is speaking of Drake. Actually, what are you listening to right now? What are some of your influences musically?
Have you ever heard of Anderson .Paak?
No. Oh, Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
That's. I listen to him a bunch, not the most, but he's probably my biggest influence as far as a performer. I saw him at Echo Beach. He was here with J. Cole a while back, but I didn't see him then. I saw him before that. I saw him at the same concert with, I think it was called Manifesto, if I'm not mistaken. I saw Daniel Caesar that day. I saw K Tronada, and I saw Anderson .Paak. Those guys were good. K Tronada, that was the first time I saw a DJ perform at that level. Like, I've seen good DJs before, but it was more like, just a chill vibe. I was like, this guy's a legit artist. This is ridiculous. And I didn't even know how to...
What do you like about K Tronada and Anderson .Paak?
K Tronada, his sound. It just sounds so... like I like house music and dance music and stuff like that. He takes it to another level. Like he does stuff. Is that whole original thing again? I haven't heard the stuff he's done. Mm-hmm. Not even to say, oh, I hear everything and therefore, but I'm like, wow. At the mainstream top tier level, I haven't heard anyone do this sound and like break new grounds like the way this guy does.
Anderson .Paak?
Best performer I've ever seen. I think in my mind, Michael Jackson, Anderson .Paak.
Really?
Realistically speaking,
he's up there with
I
Michael Jackson.
Not with him. Whoa.
I mean,
right?
he's just right under Michael Jackson.
I don't know about right. I feel like there's Michael Jackson, and then there's a lot of space. There's just a lot of wind, there's just a lot of...
Man said wind.
And then we have Anderson .Paak. But shout out, when I saw him perform, I was like, that was... When I go to the concerts, even then, man, like in real time, I usually don't get immersed in the performance. I'm more like, what is he doing? How is he doing things? When is he connecting with the just so I can learn and see and like learn from that kind of stuff. And that said, that was maybe there've only been 2 times I've been immersed in an artist performance like that. That was the first time.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
What do you think you learned from Anderson .Paak?
High standards. I thought I was okay at performing before. And then seeing that, I was like, nah. I need to raise this bar.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm like, I feel like I'm one of the best around in terms of the people I've been close to. But I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. I need to raise this to a point where I'm, as far as like the show I'm putting on, you see it and you're there and you're like, you think about that show for like months, years. Mm-hmm. That's really my aim. No, and then I want you to get the value from it. Like, you're connected from what you if you paid money, you can't pay money to come to a show of mine. Even if you come for free, I need to give you more value than you expected. Yeah. Every time. And that's the goal.
And I noticed he also has like a unique style. Anderson .Paak,
it's too crazy.
Music is crazy.
It's too crazy. That's one of the guys. I have weird people that I would, when you meet people and you're like, oh, I'm just like, what's the word? Starstruck. You can't speak da. I have my list is a little weird. Yeah. This is so strange. Max Kellerman from First Take.
Oh yeah.
He's one. David Aldridge, the writer. Writers actually.
What kind of writing does he do?
Sorry.
What kind of writing does David Aldridge do?
Sports writing.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. And he does stuff in the NBA too.
Yeah.
Those guys trip me
you
up.
don't watch basketball?
I do.
Oh.
A lot.
You were saying before that you only watch soccer and football.
Before I came to Canada.
Oh, okay, true.
And then things changed. And now I'm like, I feel like I can talk to anyone about this. It's crazy.
Max Kellerman, David Aldridge.
Mm-hmm. And it's a fact.
Oh.
I'm sure there's more people on that list, but like,
Max Kellerman?
It's like, his speaking style. I like people who speak in a... Okay, if I'm watching that show, the more entertaining personality is Stephen A for sure. But the way Max structures his argument is lawyer-like.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So, and since that's something I like to do and I want to do, I'm like, damn, like, look at the way this guy takes his skill set from this to this. Right. This is an educated man speaking about something we all love. I'm putting words to the feelings we have.
That's very true.
Quickly, precisely, witty turnarounds. It's not easy to do.
One thing you said, putting words to the emotion you like, and I'm taking back to what you said about Drake. I'm actually going to put a link to this. I was going to tweet about this earlier today.
Yes.
I was reading an article, a profile about Drake the other day, last night actually.
Yeah.
And one of the things he said, Drake says he thinks a lot about is like basically the human emotion. And like I think, and it's actually one of the things that, I don't know if you listen to a Drake song, you're like, wow, I feel exactly like that song is exactly what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, being able to put human emotion is very good.
That's why I don't see any other person. It's tough for me to believe that Drake needs ghostwriters. No.
That's what I feel like too.
No. He'll hear something and be like, you said it at 60% capacity, let me take it to 100. That's what he does. Mm-hmm. Even if you hear Hotline Bling, what was the original? Not to throw shade on Baby Drum. Definitely not. He's also phenomenal. But then he heard that cha-cha song he had that was doing well by itself. Yeah. And then he was like, this can go somewhere else. And he was right. That same, whatever, I think it was like, that was the same year that, if I'm not mistaken, the All-Star game was in Toronto.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to be able to go for like for the slam dunk contest. They called some of the food, what was it? I'm trying to remember this correct. They called the chicken the Hotline Bling. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And I was like, look at the impact. I didn't even say it to like my brother or everyone else, but I was like, do you know how deep into a culture you have to be for them to name stuff
chicken after you?
That's crazy. That's so chicken. I can understand like a sandwich, but just I was like, this is deep. This is deeper than any of us realize right now. Yeah. I ordered it.
You know what's so funny? Like, so we were watching last thing with me and my sisters and our cousins were over at our place, and we're like, dude, why haven't they shown Drake in 5 minutes? Like we were watching, we just wanted to see Drake on the court, just see what he's doing. You
want to see the game, you just want to see Drake.
You want to see Drake, man.
That's how it is. Even every time I saw the game and they showed Drake at like any bar, oh my goodness, it's Drake. I'm like, damn. He's not even balling.
But yo, so now let's talk about the other side of it, right? Which is like when you become so Drake, like this guy, like Drake, Madonna, you know, when you're like so famous, I think it starts to create a sort of like we have to like create this brand around yourself.
Yes.
And that's one thing I wonder about Drake. I always wonder with Drake, like, are we seeing the real Drake?
I think so.
You think so? I think to some extent. I think his music shows his real self.
He's way too much he's too much in the public that he can't fake it.
You think so?
I think
he cannot fake it
because of his background. I think it's a mix of both.
I think so too. Because I always tell people like, I feel like Drake's upbringing was actually a lot like our upbringing. Like he grew up in suburbs. His mom is white. He grew up in like middle class neighborhood. But like the rap game is a lot more urban. It's kind of like Kanye West in a lot of ways too, right? Yeah. But Kanye grew up in Chicago, but he didn't grow up in Southside. Yeah, he grew up in the suburbs.
But he's also been in the media for a long time, so maybe that, and he's been in media from a really young age. I think so. So that's
I think he's just comfortable.
Like developed his personality.
He's very smart. Like he's with people too. He has very good people skills.
Unbelievable. I don't know if you guys know this story. This is really... I started liking Drake and listening to Drake when I was still in Kenya.
Yeah.
And there was this... so when I heard So Far Gone for the first time, the last track on So Far Gone is a piano track, solo piano. And I heard this track, and I, even still to this day, I'm fully obsessed with that track. I heard that track and I was like, does Drake play like this? What can this guy do? Like when I was a kid, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I think I found out maybe 6 months or sometime later, slow internet, that Chili Gonzalez was the guy who played the piano. And he's Canadian as well. And he was actually talking about the story of how that track went onto the tape. Drake didn't get permission. He just put the track on there. And Chilling Gonzalez was like talking like, damn, like, I can't believe you just put my track on there. No credit, no this, no that. I think the track is originally called The Tourist, off his solo piano thing, if anyone's interested. Phenomenal.
What's the song? What's the Drake song?
What's the last song? Is it... What is it called again?
Is it So Far Gone last song?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull it up. Keep talking.
So he was just talking in an interview about like Drake putting the thing on. He was like, okay, I'm gonna have to talk to this guy. We're gonna have to figure this out. And then he was like, okay. He called Drake. He was like, oh, Drake sounded nice on the phone. But he's like, nah. I need to go and fix the situation. And then he was like, okay, I'm gonna go to his place wherever he's staying at and talk to him.
Right.
He goes to the place. And then he's like, oh, Drake is so charming. He sat me down. He gave me this. He gave me that. He was talking about it. Before he know it, he was cool with having the song on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even then, I'm thinking like that's just another level of people skill.
That's right.
Because I don't think Drake, at least to me, he's always seemed like a genuine person. Where it's like because of his upbringing and say the acting and the media and all this kind of stuff, he knows how to relay. How do I say this accurately?
He knows how to connect with.
How to connect with you in a genuine sense.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about Drake too. I always noticed with Drake, a lot of people feel like Drake is like represents them.
Yeah.
Here's what I mean. If you look at Drake, right? He looks he looks black, obviously, but he also looks kind of like Arab.
He does.
And I know a lot of my Arab friends, and he seems a bit lighter. And I'm telling you the way, a lot of my Arab friends probably feel like Drake is like one of them. Yeah. My black friends feel like that too. Yeah. And the way he talks and the way he presents himself,
it's like that. And as soon as you have, if you have that like ambiguous look and the Toronto man look, you can represent everyone in the city.
And the thing is smart because what does he do? He has Lil Baby, then Gunna, then he goes to the UK, then he goes with Dave.
Yeah.
And it's genuine. That guy was bigging up UK artists before anyone here knew.
That's right.
You know, so I was like, this guy's spirit is like obviously there's gonna be everyone's fallible in some way, shape, or form. But this guy's spirit, as it pertains to like music, I'm not. A lot of people look at it and say, "Oh, he's being disingenuous. He's using people." I'm like, no. Firstly, in any industry, it's gonna be quid pro quo. That's the first thing. Yes. Secondly, if that's gonna be the basis of the way things are done, for you to have the skill to be able to be like, okay, how do I big this person up? Obviously, I'm trying to grow my platform and everything else, but if I can give some of my light to other people that are doing great things, let me do it. I'm like, what's wrong with that?
For you, go ahead.
Okay, there's not one person on this planet I've seen who's liked more than him, just because he's so diverse with who he works with.
Yeah.
So like, if you're a fan of grime music, you're gonna like it. If you're a fan of like old school hip hop, like Jay-Z and them, you're gonna like it. If you're a fan of like these new school rappers, you're also gonna like it.
So like for someone like you, an aspiring artist,
yes.
What are some lessons that you can take from Drake? What are some lessons you take from Drake?
Some of the obvious surface ones are like, don't put yourself in a box musically. Like if you can't do if you can do a lot of things, you know, do them. There's no problem with. Obviously, you have to think about how you're presenting yourself and presenting the music, the content. But as far as like making different kinds of stuff and diversifying and talking to different kinds of people, feel very free to do it. That's one. The second thing is not to limit yourself in terms of where you think your reach can go. That's something I'm still trying to work on because, at least to me, I'm And I guess everyone's in this boat. I don't know what's possible yet.
Yeah.
So you have to envision it to be able to be like, I'm going to go out and try and do this.
Of course.
Like this whole Raptors collaboration thing. Can you imagine saying this 5 years ago? Or
Oh man, so another story I
can't.
heard. So, you know Drake's house in Calabasas, right?
Yes.
So that profile that I was reading about last night, I was telling you guys about.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Future the Prince. He's the guy that sits beside.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not Future the Prince. The guy who sits beside him courtside.
Yeah.
Future.
Yeah.
Like Jazz Prince and
Yeah. So then the article says that in 2012, as a screensaver on his laptop, Drake had a picture of that house in 2012.
Yeah.
And he said he said not a house like that, but that exact same house with the pool.
Wow.
And
The exact same house.
And since 2012, we've been saying, I'm gonna get that house. I'm gonna get that house. I'm gonna get that house. And now he has the house.
It's as simple as that, and it's just like the actualization of it. Seeing artists go out and do that and win off the music. Obviously, like, again, there's extra stuff, marketing endorsements, but win off genuine music, because that's what's going to give you the platform in the first place. Gives me a lot of hope to say, if I can leverage this skill set that I know I have intrinsically, this natural skill to write and be able to like relay some emotion, I think I can do the same thing.
So you said the service level one is don't limit yourself, don't put yourself in a box. What are some of the deeper lessons you think you take from Drake?
In terms of creation and
Anything.
Sorry?
Anything, in terms of anything.
Quality. That would probably be, it would probably be quality. And the reason I say that is because Drake came out the gate with high level or high caliber music, visuals, clothing. Like there wasn't really a growing process. There was growing in terms of scale, but there wasn't growing in terms of he looks like someone I could see doing this like next door or at university or no.
Do you know what's interesting? I feel like a lot of artists, I put Kanye in this category, Drake in this category. No, not Jay-Z.
Yes.
It's almost like you like a lot of their old stuff more than their new stuff.
Yes.
I feel like with Drake,
no, Kanye. I like Kanye's everything.
Really?
Yeah. I can see that too.
I like Kanye's everything. Like, I love Kanye. Like my top 3. But I think like College Dropout was like the gold standard.
Yeah.
With Drake, I feel like Drake almost like some of like his new stuff is even better than his old stuff. Like his old stuff is good, but he just like he's not at his peak yet. You know, some artists you're like, okay, like you're still good, but like your best days were like.
I feel like you're the first person to tell me that about Drake.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what's it called? What's the most recent album? Scorpion.
Yeah.
Like that was a banger. Like Views was good. More you didn't.
I disagree with that. Scorpion was not a banger.
I have to look at the.
Let me change this. Scorpion had bangers.
Had bangers, but it wasn't a banger.
So like what would you say is the top Drake album?
For me, if you're reading this, easily, for me, it's not close.
Really?
Real talk, it's not close.
Really?
It's that, and then a little bit of space, and then probably Take Care or Nothing Was the Same.
I liked Nothing Was the Same. My favorite.
Fair, I can see that too.
It's one with the baby, right? With the sky.
You know which one I kind of liked? If you're reading this, that I like that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I forget that one.
That has no skips.
I like
Legend
that one.
Energy.
I loved it.
No Telling has some of the hard.
Okay,
I don't even want to make this. We're making this a Drake thing, but like,
yeah, I know.
No Telling has the hardest bars.
Okay, last thing about Drake.
So crazy.
One, I like what something you said, which is this is how I feel about College Dropout. No skips. This is why a lot of artists I don't want to go to their concerts. Because some artists it's like you like them, but like really you like 4 songs.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that the 2-hour concert when I only like 4 songs.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Drake, Kanye, I can be there for the entire concert.
Hits,
I'm bumping everything.
Hits.
But anyway, that's enough about Drake. Shout out Drake.
I was gonna say, I find it really interesting how you take even people who are not in the music industry, learn from them, and try to implement it in your in what you do. That's really admirable.
One thing I was wondering too as well is so I feel like music is one of those things whereby it's a creative industry where like very low percentage of the industry, right? So because the odds of success in music is so low, a lot of people like need to go into like maybe need to get a more conventional kind of job. So if someone thinks they want to be a musician but they're sort of struggling with it, how can I break out? How can I put myself out there? Yeah. Do you have any advice for them?
Go out into the whatever city you're at. Okay, there's 2 ways to do it. If you're in the big city or close to somewhere like Toronto, you have to put it on yourself to go into all the spaces that you want to either perform at, talk to all the people who are organizing things, network with them, and just see what's possible. Because a lot of people say those things. Even at university, I would talk to some people who I knew were good. And I'd ask them, okay, why haven't you put anything out? Not the right time, or like I haven't got the right song, or I'm not sure how I would do X, Y, and Z. And to me, sometimes I think I had an advantage in terms of not knowing how tough it would be on a day-to-day. Because I was like, before I had any kind of connection, I was just like looking online to see, okay, I live in Oakville. Is there any music place close to here? I found one. I wanted to talk to them. They put me in contact with an engineer. I had already written my first EP by then. I recorded it there. Then I dropped it on SoundCloud. Through there, I was able to meet some producers on SoundCloud. I asked, do they want to work? Worked with a couple from there. Then I got some more beats from the second EP. You see, and things just kept scaling up. And I was like, at the same time, I'm doing shows. And I'm like, I'm not even like stressing myself or killing myself to be like, how can I be the best? It's just one small thing and the next and the next, and looking at what can I do in this space that I'm in. You have to do that in real time, in real life, like network with real people around you.
Just gotta put yourself out there, right?
But if you can't do that for whatever reason and that's really not viable, or you're too far away, really look online and think to yourself, how can I leverage this?
I like that. Because
just before you say that, before I had a single real fan, like I could talk to someone and say, oh, they like my music. SoundCloud, I wasn't booming or anything, but I was like, people actually coming across or asking to work or like doing this and that, and I would never have guessed just from releasing an EP that could happen.
Yeah.
So I like what you're saying, and I really like to get into like specifics and details. So now let's pretend let's say I'm a 18-year-old. You know, I think I want to make music, right? But like you said, never about like I know absolutely no one in the industry. I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
You said reach out to people, right? How do I even like who should I reach out to? And how do I go about reaching out?
People you like. I message people I was fans of, and I worked with them. That's a trippy thing. Not to get too deep into that, but that's like people that I was listening to, or like I had seen. Oh, this guy has some really like this sound is cool. I can really see myself going over this. Or even if I working with them, I never want to talk to someone and make it seem as if like I'm not being genuine or I'm just trying to use them for their position. It's not that. It's like I legitimately like what you do. If you want to work, cool. But if not, as well, just to talk about like what you learned and everything else. Because I love music for real, like as a fan.
Yeah.
So even just talking to people for me is like that's already a win.
Yeah.
Just to see like why or how did you get to where you did, or how did you come up with this. And if that's the energy the 18-year-old or the young kid has in their heart about music, I think you want to have those conversations anyway, or you should. And then from there, you should really be able to get your next step or have a feeling for where you want to go.
So like build relationships with people in the industry, even though it's not actually making music with them, right?
Even if it
like if
like,
just talking,
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
No, because then there's some people. Who did I talk to? There's this guy called Sam Guthrow, who was I think he was the first SoundCloud artist I was listening to on a regular, and we spoke a couple times.
Yeah.
And that changed a way I saw even the creation of music and just like how I should position myself and go about talking to people. Just the conversation. I never ended up working with him, but I was like, damn, like if not for that conversation, I don't know if this song would exist.
Yeah.
Real talk. So I was like, this is even just to shape your mindset and knowing what's possible.
Yeah.
Again, that's the biggest thing. Like just when you know what's possible, then you have your goal. Then it's easier to run after.
Yeah.
So it's a big one.
And you're talking about marketing and distribution. Like so, as you're sort of thinking through your own career, right? What are some like things you're thinking about in terms of like marketing distribution or to like scale up Dell?
Like how to scale up.
Like sort of like you make a song, right?
Yes.
Or like you're thinking about my plan for the next 1 to 5 years.
Yes.
What are some of your what are some of the marketing plans and ideas and strategies you have in order to grow your brand and your music?
It's different ways, or not different ways. Different. How I need to be creative outside of music too, in terms of content, because everything is really like a marketing vehicle when you think about it. Like a music video is just a long ad.
That's why I was telling people, pro tip: if you make music, LinkedIn could work too. You know, like you could. I can definitely see someone breaking out on LinkedIn.
All sorts of entertainment.
Fair enough.
But go on with what you were saying. Everything's a marketing vehicle.
Yeah, everything is. Like before, like when you're a kid, everything is just entertainment. But like, looking at it a different way, I was like, oh, like this music video from Rick Ross is just a long advert to listen to the album. Really? I think there was an album, Raymond versus Raymond, where Usher made a video for every song, if I'm not mistaken. And that, at least I was in Tanzania at the time, and even just seeing it on TV, I was like, because at the time I'm not really buying music or anything else. So to see everything be accessible like that, I had a picture to every song in my mind. And if I was ever talking to someone about it, it's just now I have more of a
context,
more context, more impetus to be like, oh, have you checked out this song because this is available? We can see that, like I can show people more easily, and there's something more you can gravitate towards. And like, obviously times change, and you have to think of something new and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's really the big thing. I've done things on this scale before. Like my first EP, let's say I did it at this level. Next EP I did it at this level with a few more things. The next release I have, I'm thinking, okay, I need to bring out the songs, obviously. Can I bring out video with that? Can I bring out, like I have a cartoon theme running through a lot of the songs I'm making right now. Should I make like a comic book? Like, those kinds of things.
Yeah,
and it's just like, how can I build a world around what I'm trying to do?
Like branching out to different types of mediums.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be the biggest level, but then is what I said about quality before. If it's good, I want to be able to look back at all the music, everything I did, and be able to say there was a growth all the way through. I never sacrificed this for speed. I never sacrificed this for fans at the moment. I never did any of that. I did this because I cared about the quality of stuff I was making, and I wanted anyone who was buying into me to see the real value in the content I was providing, and that's it.
What do you think is the biggest challenge you have right now?
It would be two things. One is funds,
pause before you say that. Since you graduated school,
yes.
What is the biggest challenge you have right now?
Work, man. Like I'm trying to get. Okay. In my mind and in my heart of hearts, I want to be able to fund everything I'm doing from what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like making music money to make more music, and it keeps going around. But until I get there, I'm gonna need like a sizable, well, not even sizable, but just like consistent incomes where I'm able to do that without having to like go to anywhere or ask for investment. So right now, I'm trying to look for a job that, if there's a job that will teach me things that I feel like will help me in life, no matter where I decide to go, I'm gonna take that. And so far, I'm looking at a lot of marketing jobs, managing jobs. I feel like those skills are translatable.
Yeah.
Some have to do with data and analytics, and you can take that anywhere you go.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, I also want something that's more part-time.
Yeah.
And not
time.
So I have time to be making stuff and everything else.
Yeah.
I've already written like my next project, and that was the big time drain. So I was like, now I don't even need necessarily that much. But if I can have time to play shows, that's the big thing now. Because this whole summer I want to be active in some way, shape, or form. So that's really where my mind is at.
I also feel like it's very tough. Like even me graduating soon, I feel it's very tough to plan out how am I gonna have time to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Time to make money so I can fund my own thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's pretty tough for like recent graduates.
That's true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't even know why I feel this. Maybe there's a science to it or not. I feel like as soon as I know what I have to do, I stress about it a lot less.
Oh really?
Because I know what I have to do.
That's so true.
I guess so. Yeah.
Like if you even like okay, I'll say it in two ways. As it pertains to just the music, as soon as I said to myself, I'm making an EP, it took a lot of stress away because I'm like, okay, now I know I'm entering the studio and I know what I'm trying to do. As opposed to going in there making a song, you don't the focus isn't quite there to,
not clear.
And even in life, the exact same thing. As soon as I was like, okay, if I can get 2 jobs, one part-time, one closer to full-time, and I can sort of have enough time still to go out and perform when I feel like I can. That's the happy medium. And then I can stay at home for a little while, save, get myself to Toronto when I can, network, and for this next, not calendar year, but until like the end of this year, see where I'm at, and then reevaluate after that.
Yeah.
And then,
So I think you were going to tell us, actually let's pull up your Instagram. What were we just talking about now? Yeah, you were talking about people coming late to shows and then...
and like
yeah,
interviews.
so I said that Cardi B, she's someone that makes... Oh yeah, so anyway, follow your boy.
Change the subject.
Follow your boy, Delga Game. More scholars and singer, RB, Pen Game Flex.
Of course, every day.
But anyway, back to saying Cardi B. So, yeah, I was just basically thinking about how like, so remember when Bodak Yellow came on? Yeah. All the girls would like get so hyped, like they basically like they wanted Cardi B because they wanted a female artist in the game. And then another thing I'm not because sometimes when people like blow up, I'm like, and I don't really know like what it is that people gravitate towards. I'm like, so I asked them like, so what do you guys like Cardi B, right? And I sort of did my research like, oh, she's authentic, she's being herself,
100%.
But then recently, I don't know, I think that the fame's really gone to her head, and I think sometimes too when especially as females, it's tough too, right? Because so often people are judging you on your looks.
That's right.
And she herself said that she was very insecure in the past. And my thing is, dude, like if you're insecure from the start,
it's gonna
be very careful. Not even just that, be careful about social media.
That's facts.
Because it's like, I don't think you can get confidence off of social media.
No.
I think it's like if you already have internal confidence, you can maybe amplify it.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can lose it here.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So it's just...
You can lose it 1,000%.
Anyway, so freestyle.
I have one on there, right?
You have a freestyle. I want to hear what people doing live for us on
TV.
TV.
Live?
Yeah. Instrumental?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Can I pick which instrumental?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I'll help you out so you know.
Let me open a guest account so people don't see what's on my YouTube. How do you do a new...
What have you been watching?
I haven't been watching anything. It's just that I like...
Hey, I'm not
it's all basketball.
Do what you want to do.
I find, I have no secrets. You can watch you can see my YouTube channel. So what instrumentals do you want?
Soulful. Let me think of.
Tommy's been watching some Impulsive.
Yeah, you know what?
What is life?
Anyway, go on. What instrumental do you want?
Can you do? Anything soulful. Oh, can you play the Selfish instrumental? Selfish Slum Village.
Kanye West. Okay, let's
Classic.
go.
Okay.
I wish you guys had speakers. No, we don't. Hey. Haven't done this in a while. Listen, I gotta come through with the flow. If you never knew, motherfucker, now you know. Wait, can I swear? Can I keep it real? Fuck it. You already know the deal. Okay, my name is Dale and I do it so well. I'm super fresh when I come, fresh to death. Everybody in the building knowing my name. I got her number on my phone. I got game, I got fresh, I got style. Say less, we in Toronto, we got the chip, we in the building. Tell me like what's next? I told my girl I'ma make it to the top. She said, boy, stop. I told her, not. I told her that I gotta go, take it on the road. I tell her that I gotta make him fall like I'm hitting dominoes. Okay, listen, I gotta do it every day for the pay. I need the green coming my way. I open my wallet, I say my prayer. I tell the Lord, I need a day, I need a day, I need a car, I need it, yeah. I need the girls in the back screaming, yeah. Every time I'm clear, every time I sing, every time I rap, every time the bling on the watch say, cha-ching. Yeah, the dollar bills raining, I got them on the TV shit. I'm entertaining, yeah. I'm never complaining, I'm the best. Toronto, say less, what's up?
Tell me what? Tell me what?
Jacob?
Tell me what?
Jacob?
Tell me what?
Hey!
Yo, man like Del. Del really got game.
Jeez. Yeah. Yo, round of applause for that.
Round of applause for my man Del.
Yeah, I need to practice now as well.
That was actually dope.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was really sick.
So what kind of stuff is inspiring you right now? And like even like beyond music, what kind of stuff like are you finding really inspirational right now?
Anime. I'm a very, very big anime fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing, eh?
Yeah.
we recently got a guest who loved anime. And she was a 40.
So what is it about anime
Really?
that gets to you?
It's the best stories I've ever seen. Like, and the reason I say that is because they're not limited by anything. What you can imagine is what you can create.
Yeah.
If it's like real life, you can't really do everything or make it look believable.
That's right.
But in anime, like some of this, what have I seen that's amazing? Like Full Metal Alchemist, phenomenal. Hunter x Hunter, ridiculous. Cowboy Bebop, and these series break ground in the sense that like, not only has there not been a show like them before, they mix things that usually have never been brought together.
Yeah.
There's this anime called Samurai Champloo that brought together hip hop and like samurai sword fighting, like that whole thing. I can't remember what it was, like the early 2000s when I watched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? This is Jay Dilla, New Jobs, like on some anime stuff. And you can, the level of detail, the care, the way the story progresses, you really get sucked into the thing super quick, and it's like it's easy to get emotionally invested. So that's a big inspiration for me. I'd say.
I like it.
Have you always been into art, like acting or music?
Around the beginning.
What about visual arts? Do you draw? Like,
I do.
stuff?
Funny enough,
Is
I just
that
don't. I
You
don't.
post it? Why not, man?
I don't even know.
You should, man.
Like,
Like, I always say, like, just let people see the other side of Del, right? The different sides of Del.
I probably should. I used to do that like in high. I actually did art in high school, like all the way through.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad.
I have a question about Del. A lot of artists have an alter ego.
Yes.
So like I think Kendrick's is, what is it, Kung Fu Kenny or something?
Yeah.
No idea.
Okay, but he has an alter ego.
Yeah.
Everyone has, like not everyone, but a lot of artists do.
Mm-hmm.
Is Del an alter ego? Or
Yeah,
No, but
yeah, go on.
it's interesting you asked that because I was thinking about that concept a lot, and this EP has something for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to say it now,
Yeah.
but like,
Plug the EP. When is it dropping? Or
I have to record it still, but I'm hoping
Okay.
fall 2019. We can expect another project. Singles before that, definitely, but next project should be fall.
he said something interesting about the alter ego.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that when you started rapping, your
Yeah.
voice changed.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like almost like an American
That's right.
kind
Yeah,
of.
it does. Yeah.
Why do you do that?
I have no. It's always been that way. Even when I used to freestyle in like dorms all the time, and even like there was one time we used to just do it a lot. One time like down the line we recorded it, and I was like, huh, I sound like that. Who knew? I think it's probably the influences from like Wayne was a big influence.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where stuff started to come about. Oh yeah, because he was eating every freestyle like all the time. Like yeah, it was that period of time.
Kind of stuff, yeah.
So I think so.
So now we're coming to the third part of the interview.
Mm-hmm.
First question I'll ask you is what I call the 1,
Yes.
the 5, and the 25.
Okay.
So essentially, where would you like to be? Where do you see yourself a year from now,
Yes.
5 years from now, 25 years from now?
A year from now, I want to perform at the Junos. I do. And I feel like that's ambitious enough that I need to really put in work, but not way too ambitious where I'm like, that can never happen. So that's the goal I set. I set a 3-year plan from when I started this, where I was like, I want to put up a project for a nomination at the Junos and see where I get.
That's right.
And hopefully it's this next one. but I have 2 to do it. So if it's not this next one, it'll be the one after that.
Yeah.
So then that's really the goal for that. In 5 years, I want a Grammy or a few. Let me take that back. It's not that I necessarily want these things as like, oh, I've got this, that means I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to be there, but I want to be in the conversation as someone who's making that caliber of music or content.
Yeah.
And that is in 5 years, if I was doing that or like had my name in those conversations, I'm like, I'm where I'm.
It's funny you mention that thing, Grammy. Like I get you too. I think goal setting is super important just to drive you.
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking to my sister about this the other day that like, there's something about setting goals. Because my sister just finished an award show, right? Athletic Banquet Award Show.
Yes.
And then one of her friends didn't get an award that everyone thought he deserved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my thing was like, you have to be and I told her like, you have to be very careful in life of setting goals.
Yeah.
That's predicated on other people's opinions.
Can't be doing it.
If you said something like, I want to make $1 million or I want to sell 1 million records, that's a bit better because like you're just like, if you make good music, people are gonna buy your music. Yeah. But if you say you want a Grammy and now you're dependent on the record industry and all those political games and all those subjective opinions.
Can't be doing it.
But that's why he also said he wants to be in the top.
Yeah, so you hedge yourself. That is true. Yeah.
And even saying it like, it's just as you said. I needed to have some, as soon as I see the target, I'm like, okay, I feel like, I may not know the exact steps, but I know what I'm going for. And like everything I do is like thinking, how can I best position myself for this? But I don't necessarily need to get to that mountaintop to be like, that journey was worth going all the way for. So really the fundamental thing is, in 5 years, am I sustaining myself fully off music? That's really the fundamental thing. If that happened and I never got an award, it was never near a ceremony, I could never complain. Yeah. I don't need that. Like, what's someone I've never met who's not a fan wants to tell me that this isn't that good? I'm like, fair enough. All these millions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
laughing all the way to the bank.
I'm saying so like that's really, or it's not even for the cash necessarily. Mm-hmm. Really, the funny thing is, I think it's just because I'm just out of school. I'm not thinking about cash like that. I really should. I'm trying to think of it some more.
It's crazy you mentioned that too. Like I always feel like. This is why student loans gets me so riled up that like, if it wasn't for student loans, I'd just be chilling right now.
I'm saying
I have a good job. I can live with my parents. Right. My expenses are not that high. I really don't need money for much. No. But it's like every day I pay like the student loans is just.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah.
I'm fully with you on that. Like I have them myself, so I'm like,
A lot of people sleep to that right now.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. And do you know what I feel like? The thing that annoys me the most about this is like, so like your whole life from 0 to 18, it's like you have to go to high school every day.
0 to 18. Yeah. This guy was bored right now.
One more thing about school. Okay, hear me out. Okay, let's see. 0 to 4, you don't have to go to school. You can't do anything anyway.
Yeah.
Like you're just basically dependent on your parents for your whole life.
Yeah.
4 to the age of 18, 16, 17,
stressful.
You have to go to high school.
Yeah.
Then 18 to 21, you have to go to university or college. And then finally, when you can do what you want to do, they give you student loans.
You're broke.
You're
not even broke.
You're worse than broke. I was broke. I wish I was broke. Yeah. I'm at 0. I'm at like negative. Anyway, let's move on.
I have a question actually before we move on from that. Since like we all complain about student loans and whatever. So why did you guys just
not just go?
Yeah, like you could just go from high school now into starting Atila.
That's
you could have gone to rap.
Let's address it. Like
okay,
so we're all African here.
Yeah.
I feel like just even that statement alone, if you're African here, you already know where this. No, if you're an immigrant, you already know where this is going. Yeah. You're not gonna get out of going to school, and I think that's actually a good thing. I'm not saying that I shouldn't have done it or I'm complaining. Definitely not. I said it before this and like throughout this podcast here. The value in education, you should have a value for education. I think.
Again, sorry, I just have to keep on cutting you off because people always use the argument against me, and like again, I'm in university myself. I'm gonna be graduating with 2 degrees, so like whatever. Congrats. But I always make this thing that like. Don't confuse education with schooling because whenever I tell people that the education system is broken, they're like, yeah, but education is important. I'm like, education is very important. Guess what? Khan Academy, YouTube, EduX.
Okay, no, you
can self-teach yourself.
Let's be candid then.
So it's not education.
It's the credentials.
It's called schooling, which is important too, but there's a difference. Like my point is, you can be very well educated without going to school.
True, but then and it makes things tougher for you because the way the system is set up. I hate using that phrase, but the way the system is set up, it's like. Without those credentials, there's some places that are going to be tough for you to get to, and that's just the way the game is played. And I'm like, if that's the case, what did J. Cole say? Play the game that changed the game. I don't know why he said that. He didn't change it. No shade.
Loki, he didn't though. Like he just make do like that's actually true.
Okay, J. Cole's dope.
Just do it.
Okay, fine. Like I don't want to throw shit on J. Cole because I feel like I'm gonna interview on the show. So I want to J. Cole, we love you.
Fair. Like, me too. Don't get me wrong.
Go back to the immigrants.
Like okay, sorry.
The schooling.
I'm not trying to. It's like
no, but like dude, you basically answer the question. I don't want to spend too much on this because like I've talked about this a lot. And
fair.
You're right. No, like he's right. Like even like honestly, the thing is to like whenever I have this is why I like honestly, this is why I kind of roll my eyes because I've had this conversation so many times.
Yeah.
And I just repeat myself, but even my friends who are in school, I have friends who are going to go to do medical school. I have my friends who are in law school. I have my friends who are straight A students. We all get it that this is a game.
Yeah.
That realistically, how much useful stuff do we actually learn in school?
Not much.
Is debatable. But this is the way the game is played. Want to get a job, they ask for it.
But guys, you guys are arguing you don't want a job. You start your own business. You want to be a musician.
It's like
this is
why is it no? Why did you guys go balls to the wall after high school?
To be honest, 2 reasons. One, I didn't even know for sure. Like music
I
wasn't
didn't
like
know
the
this in high
first
school.
for me. Like I didn't. At least the hunger I have now for it, it wasn't quite the same for one.
Yeah.
Number two, like especially when your stuff is up in the air, you want to put yourself in the best position just going forward. And like I feel like school is not a bad place. It's not the best place, but it's not a bad place.
No, I agree with you. And then the kind of reason why earlier on I was kind of pressing you on the whole like why do you want to go to law school? Just focus on music. It's like I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm giving like myself a hard time, which is like
no, I get you.
I say I want to be an entrepreneur, but like why am I working a 9 to 5? And my employer's probably watching this. I really do like my job, so don't fire me. But it's a very valid point, right? Like, if you only want to start your own company one day, because I have a friend, Evan Farrell, shout out to Aaron, like he dropped out of school. Yeah. He didn't go. It's not a secret. I guess he's okay with me saying that. But he left school. He didn't get a full-time job because he wanted to start this company. And we had this debate over and over again. I'm like, and it's like, I can't really give him advice. Honestly, I get where he's coming from, which is like, dude, if you say you want to do this thing and you're not giving it 100%, you're almost like a liar. That's almost like a fraud.
Do you know what? Who was it? That actually called me from the barbershop. He was telling me, what was his exact phrase? He was like, if you say you want to go to the NBA, but you only play the rec on the weekends, you're part-time baller. You can't be doing that. You're never gonna make it. And I was like, I fully understand.
And I ask myself that all the time. I'm like, man, I want to tell you to be great, but am I really putting in the work?
Yeah. That's true.
But do you guys feel you have to put yourself in a very disadvantaged position? Because think about a lot of people who are successful. They came from absolutely like negative. Not even nothing negative.
Yeah,
like they were almost homeless.
Like why I don't think
their
so?
backs were against the wall.
Why I don't think so is usually, especially now, watching the sports media this year. Like I feel like I always knew this, but it made it exceedingly clear to me that this world is just, as far as people reporting stories, the truth is bent all the time to fulfill a narrative that is more palatable to viewers. That's really what it is. People don't tell you the truth the way the truth happens in real time. Yeah. And I say that to say, okay, I'll say it in 2 ways. The first is that whole narrative with Toronto fans being the best fans in the league and everything else. I think there's a lot of truth to Toronto fans in that sense. From here, whatever. But you saw how it flipped as soon as that KD thing happened. That's just and that's not necessarily the way it was reported. I was like, that's bending it a little bit. People were cheering the fast break. If you want to say what happened, people cheered the fast break. They saw he was out. They didn't know the extent of the injury, and then as soon as they realized it was a serious thing, they started cheering his name. Yeah. You don't get that full narrative. It was just he went down. They cheered for his injury. Toronto fans are negative.
And that's why I was a bit surprised you said Max Kellerman because I watch Max. I like Max, but these honestly, after a while, I still watch First Take once in a while. I watch Skip and Shan just when I want to just take my brain off, relax. Yeah. But at the end of the day, these people, it's like they're just trying to create content.
That's it. Yeah.
That's Skip Bailey's
he just tell the truth.
He just want I don't know if you've ever noticed they always Max and Stephen A almost never agree on anything. And there's no human being where I'm gonna talk me if we're talking together 5 days a week for the next 2 years, we have to agree on something. Yeah. They never agree on anything. So it's all an act, and it's hard to take them seriously.
No, but because I know that, I watch it as that.
Yeah.
That's true. When you expect that, I think you're very comfortable. Because even when I see that, I feel like I can even gauge the truth for myself. Yeah. I'm like, if they're saying this, it probably means that it happened this way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, I try to look at it like that.
But that still didn't answer my question. Do you feel like your back has to be against the wall?
No. Let me use.
Or no. Okay, sorry, I'm wording it wrong. Do you have to have more pressure on yourself?
No.
Because right now, think about it. You get paid.
I know. Okay, so
you get paid. You're kind of comfortable. You have an insurance policy.
I don't think
in terms of your education.
You're right. So that's very interesting. Because this is something I think about a lot. And I'll let you go afterwards. So a couple of things. First thing is, if you look at a lot of deeply very very successful people, you know that they have deep insecurities. Yeah. And the reason for this, and I thought about this a lot. I'm like, if you're comfortable and you work very hard, you ask, why am I doing this? I ask myself a lot. I'm like, why am I working so hard on this company? I have loving parents. I have a middle class. I'm very comfortable lifestyle. Yeah. Why am I making myself go through this pain? Yeah. But typically, people come from a broken home. They have maybe they grew up very poor. They're working hard because of that pain in their heart. If you don't have that pain, you lose a bit of that drive.
That's very true.
On the other hand, you can also get motivated in the other way, which is I'm not necessarily motivated to escape my past, because my past is very comfortable.
Of course. Yeah.
But I'm also motivated by my future.
Yeah.
Like you have this vision in your head, and you just want that thing to happen.
It's either you're running from something or you're running towards something.
Like,
and I don't think you have to be running from that poverty or whatever else it is.
That's right.
To get that joy or whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
So sorry, not to cut you off.
No, that's very well said. What I was gonna say.
But do you guys think of school as an insurance policy? Because I feel like a lot
Even
of
then,
times I think of that. I think
even
of school
then, it's
that.
like
in a sense.
But at the same time, I don't like think of it that way because I really want to accomplish my goal,
That's
so I don't
thing,
want to fall back
like,
on.
It wasn't.
I'm just gonna work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I wanted to do what I wanted to do in undergrad. Well, it doesn't. If you want to do grad school, it doesn't really matter what you do. Fundamentally, but I wanted to do something I liked.
Yeah.
Just so I have a good time of this, because even if that's the way even if I knew that this is not what I want to be doing for the rest of my life, let me at least have a good time and learn and enjoy some things.
Right.
Enjoy and learn some things that I feel like will make me better as a person. You know, I feel like when you start looking at it, not that you're doing this, but when people look at it in a sense where it's an insurance policy or anything like that, that's when you feel like there's an anchor tied to your leg. It's like, if I don't do this, don't be negative about those kinds of aspirations.
And it's so true. And it's very weird. Like human brain is so interesting to like. Even you may not be doing this consciously, but even subconsciously, when you know there's something to fall back on, you just slightly take your hand off the gas pedal.
You do. It's not good.
Like why? Like, because honestly, dude, like there's so many positions in my life where I'm like, you're like your back is against the wall. You know, like no way, no how you need to solve this out, or else you're done. And you figure something out. But in the back of your mind, like if you know you have a job to fall back on, or you know you have a degree to fall back on, or you know you have a whatever. You relax. There's just like and the thing is, you're not even doing it consciously. It's like subconsciously.
That's the human condition.
Think about like when you're doing a bench press, right? When you have no spot,
you know
you're not when you have no spot, you're not gonna put all like your heaviest weight, and you're just gonna do it, right? But when you have a spot, you're gonna put it on as like, I have an insurance policy. So just
that's how it goes.
So you're not gonna
I can't.
That's
I don't
the
really.
thing. That's the way I think about it.
I don't. I guess I do lift weights a bunch, but like for me, the one that's the perfect analogy is running.
Yeah.
In the sense that if I'm running a long distance, I'm running quickly, or even if I haven't done it for a time and I come back.
Yeah.
I'm not running, especially if you're on a treadmill. You're not running to anything. You're not, and I could stop at any time. No one's pushing me to do this thing.
Yeah.
But then I need to. If I want to do 10 minutes at this speed. That's me. That's me that wants to go and do this. I'm not doing this because of X, Y, Z. This is the goal that I want to accomplish, and I'm trying to see music or like whatever my aspiration is the same way.
Yeah.
If this is the thing I want to do, let me go out and do it. Yeah. Not because I think if I don't do this, I won't eat, or if all those things I think distract you from the goal.
Yeah.
In fact, who was it that was saying this? Like I follow a bunch of all these SoundCloud producers and everyone that I was fans of at the beginning. A lot of them they say sometimes conflicting things, but they say interesting things about like music and work and all these kinds of all these conversations. Yeah. I think last week one of them said, when it comes to creative things, don't do it in a sense, at least at the early days, don't do it in a sense where you feel like this is where your money has to come from. Because then you will very, very quickly lose the joy that really got you into the thing at first. And as soon as I read it, I was like, I was slowly falling into that mentality where it's like, okay, I'm out of school, this is the thing. And thankfully I've already written my EP, so like I didn't have to like, look back at the stuff I created and be like, did I write it in the right vein? But it was more like, I need to be very, very careful I don't fall into a mentality where I'm like, these songs hits. Like J. Cole was talking about the same thing with Born Sinner. He was like, is this a hit kick snare or a kick drum? Is this a hit snare? Is this a hit whatever? Don't be doing things of passion that way.
Yeah, and building on that point, building on that point too, it's like also when you have that mentality too, you also make a lot of short-term decisions.
You do.
Because I always tell people like, I'm trying to run Atila like a lifetime business. So I'm gonna be 65 years old, literally still doing this, still running this business. Yeah. And it's like, if I know that's the case, I'm still probably gonna be working with Jacob, when I'm 65, whatever. Maybe we're still hanging out, we're still like talking. Remember when we did that tour in 2019? Yeah. And if that's the case, you need to know that if I want to maintain these relationships and keep this business around for that long, there's certain things I'm gonna have to make sure I do that doesn't mess up the short term in order for me to do on the long term.
Facts.
It's basically trying to run your business, trying to do being an artist. It's kind of like handling life, right?
Yeah.
You have to think about the long term rather than the short term. You're not gonna be eating ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because you know it's gonna mess you up.
There you go.
Speaking of long term, go on. Sorry.
When you're I'm done.
Speaking of long term, back to the question that we started like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, what was it? Totally skipped my mind.
No, but it's good. I like when we go on these tangents. I hope our audience likes it actually. One, do you know what's so funny? Just like another tangent. I'm just thinking to myself like, originally this started off with me interviewing like a medicine school student, a law school student. Now we're talking about Drake. And, but I think it's still related, man. Like
it is.
That's hilarious.
It's helping people.
1, 5, and 25. Where would you like to be 25 years from now?
25 years? if music goes the way I think it can go, and I hope it does go, then I want to have my own label, and I want to be like entrenched in the music industry. I can see myself as an executive.
Wow.
Because there's some things I know that for the rest of my life I won't lose, like a passion for music and a passion for like real and tangible things. And if I obviously, again, saying these things is much easier said than done. But if I manage to like say make a success of myself, I can like a la Jay-Z, Drake, and whatever, build a brand, make a label. Then it becomes, can I identify talent that I see putting in the same things that I was doing when I was also on the come of myself? And I feel like that's something I can do. Like even going to Western and just watching people, I was like, he has it, she has it. I can see it from the way they, and it doesn't really take much.
Yeah.
You know. And then even talking to some of these people, I was like, okay. Funny enough, I don't know how this sounds. I haven't really done anything in the industry, but talking to a bunch of these guys, they looked at me as someone who's done some things. In a release sense, I guess I put stuff out.
Yeah.
But numbers-wise, I haven't gone anywhere near as crazy as I could. But anyway, that notwithstanding.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's
definitely
coming.
coming.
Play the songs. So what was I saying? So when I spoke to them about like their dreams and aspirations, I was able to actually guide some people and say, oh, you're thinking of this? This is what I did when I was in that position. And I was like, I really enjoy this part of the process. Not that I have to spend all my time coaching people through things, but if it was like I had like say 5 to 10 artists, I'm like trying to watch how they're navigating the different industries or like different niches, different genres. I feel like that's something I could do really, really well. Yeah. But then that's like a long-term thing, so I'll just see how that one goes.
I feel this question has to be asked for every artist or upcoming artist as well.
Top 5 dead or alive.
What?
This guy's actually dying.
I don't know why that's funny.
I'm dying.
Why?
What was it?
Because in the video, I just asked it, and you asked it right after.
Don't worry, they'll get
it. That's fine. Okay. Top 5 dead or alive. Okay. I have to put Michael Jackson on there. That's just not a debate to me.
Mm-hmm. Is this 1 or 5?
I think that's one.
That's
1
one.
is the highest.
That's
okay.
one. That's one. Easy, that's one. Okay. I'm gonna name the 5 and then put them in the order after.
Okay.
I put Michael Jackson there.
No. Name in the order. So start with the 5th.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So the 5th best.
Who did I say is okay? I know he's there. All time. Oh, he's there. I need a woman.
Why do you need a woman? You're trying to be all politically correct?
Because it feels weird to. No, but how do I say this? I feel like it's a weird thing where there's a lot of notable women in the industry, but I would name 5 guys. That might be one of the things I relate to.
But it's like, do you listen to a lot of I listen to a couple, but I listen to like a lot of women artists heavily.
But even if I don't listen to them, I can acknowledge the greatness without doing that. This like Beyonce do that. But
okay, I see what you're saying.
You know, it just doesn't. It's not like my.
That's
thing.
true, right? Like I don't listen to a lot of Beyonce, but like I respect like what she's done for
me.
No, but I want your top 5.
Okay, then
not what the world says, or not what the world's opinion. Yours.
Okay, if that's the case.
You can throw 6 9 in there if you want.
Actually, I like some songs. I'm not gonna lie. Stupid. Okay. Who would my last 2 be? Oh, how could I forget? And that's too low. And who's my 5th?
In there now?
No, I don't. I do not. Yes, I do.
Are you sure
and she deserves it. No, I'm not. She deserves this to me. Okay. I'm gonna put Corinne Bailey Rae number 5.
Ooh, don't tell me 3 Little Birds. Oh man.
See what like for me, even not just that. Every album I've heard of hers, I'm like banger. It's just whether people listen or not. If she came to Toronto tomorrow, and I was broke, credit card. That's how I have to do it. So she gets number 5 for me. Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm not sure who should go 4 and 3. I put John Mayer in number 4. Mm-hmm. Very big. My brother got me into him with one of his live from LA album.
One thing I know about John Mayer. John Mayer is one of those artists that a lot of other artists like.
Yeah.
You know
there you go.
Like, you know, some athletes, other athletes like them and stuff. A lot of artists like John Mayer.
Deserve it. Like that guy is just way too crazy, man. Even from the songwriting.
What's it about him? Because I don't really listen to a lot of his music.
He's a music guy. You can just the way he plays, the way he talks about it. I'm like, this is someone who cares. Whether I like him as a person or not, I think like I feel like I would, but just the way he talks about music. Even seeing him, I've seen him at a show. I saw him in Montreal last year. Phenomenal, man. Mm-hmm. The way he talks about it, plays the stuff, says what he was thinking. I'm just like, this is a holistic way. This is not the only way to perform, but he's doing it in a holistic way, and I can really appreciate that. That's number 4. Number 3 has to be Jay-Z. Has to be Jay-Z. I mean, yeah, it's just, and I keep forgetting because the stuff is not on Spotify, and I'm a Spotify guy.
Yeah.
But then every now and then I go back to an album on YouTube. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the goal. How can you say anyone else? Yeah. So he gets in the top 5. I probably put Fela Kuti number 2.
Ooh, I rate that.
Grew up on that. I can't get by it. So like I played it after graduation. I was like, yeah, it's only right.
And then Michael Jackson.
And then Michael Jackson number 1.
Dude, you gotta ask.
What's yours?
Well, we'll talk about that.
Quick times.
I'll answer about Finding Neverland. What do you think about that?
I still haven't seen it. It's not even because I don't want to see it. I just I'll be honest. Like I didn't want to see it. I was like, if it's true, damn.
Yeah.
I hope like those things aren't true. But again, that brings me back to the whole how is the story told.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I don't know these people. I don't know the agendas. If I study this thing and I believe someone else's narrative, just to take away, if I believe someone else's narrative and there's a semblance of untruth to it, and it takes away from my joy listening to the music, I've only shortchanged myself. Yeah. Not to say it's okay to like do whatever you want as an artist.
So you said top 5.
Yeah.
You didn't put Kanye in your top 5?
He makes top 10.
Eminem
doesn't make top 20.
Whoo! Moving on. So I think you already asked where you like to be in 25 year music. Yeah. So last question on this topic because I think it's around the option. So you were talking about.
Like no shade. It's just that I put singers before rappers usually.
Oh yeah.
Or like.
But would you make your top 5 rappers?
No.
I honestly, do you know he wouldn't make mine either too? Because like
no replayability.
Really?
So for
to me.
No, what you said?
Replayability. I never go back to an Eminem thing.
That's interesting.
Maybe other people do that. I don't.
But another thing I'll say, like for me, when I look at artists, I look beyond just their music. Like, I feel like if you're just looking pure music, maybe Eminem.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe just the way he lives his life. I don't really know what he's doing beyond just music.
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z, Kanye, Drake, I like them because artistically, business-wise.
But you don't know what Jay-Z's doing. Honestly, the only time we hear about Jay-Z, he got $1 billion.
That's what I'm saying though. Like,
what does he do?
When I say you know what they're doing, like you know their business investments. You know, like the artists, like the labels they started. Like even though no one here has title, you at least respect the hustle, right? Like
that's right.
You know? That's what I mean.
That's true.
So for me, it's like why I like LeBron so much.
Yeah.
Like not just because he's a great athlete, but also like he was off the court.
And he's a great leader.
Great
leader, family man. Like,
hashtag strive for greatness.
Hashtag more than an athlete.
I'm saying man. All that.
But what does Drake do other than music?
A lot of throw shade, but I'm not doing that.
What does he do other than music?
OVO Sound Radio. He has a clothing store.
Yeah.
He has what's it called? He did a special deal with Apple.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. Again,
the Raptors thing.
I need to link this article because I mentioned it like.
Yeah, I guess.
I need to link this article because I mentioned it like 5 times now.
He acts.
He was Anchorman too. He was in the
No.
Degrassi. We can't forget about that.
Really? No,
and
he's
he's even producing his own shows. The Vince Carter documentary. His record label. His like produced that.
Really?
The Carter Effect.
Okay, I just.
What was the UK one? Was that
Top Boy? So he's doing that too. Like what? This guy's making moves, man.
He is. He's doing a
lot.
lot.
Naive about this.
You know, funny. I do that too. Where because you don't know something exists, like, it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
you just don't know. I don't know too.
Just don't know.
So yeah, another question I was gonna ask you. So, if you could have dinner, with anyone, and try to make it maybe not necessarily an artist, but I won't constrain you. Or something you haven't already said. It can be anything though. If you have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, what would it be?
It could be Jesus, Buddha.
I don't want to constrain you.
Nah, no religious figure. No shade. I just feel like. No, that's not what I'm looking for right now. If I could have dinner with anyone. Wait, it would be an author. That's easy, and that would probably be. Who would it be?
That's easy, he said. Doesn't know.
I know who it is. I just don't know if I should say it.
Say it. Wait, why?
She's not that controversial, but some people see her as that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably have dinner with Ayn Rand.
Interesting.
Real talk.
Oh my goodness! So sorry to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, I think probably like close to our exam season.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if you know I remember this. I'm walking down the Spoke Library, the Spoke Cafe.
Oh yeah.
I see this man reading a book. He's reading an Ayn Rand Fountainhead in the middle of the Spoke Cafe.
And what?
It was
Paradise. Atlas Lost. Atlas Shrugged.
Atlas Shrugged.
I just see that. I'm like, a black brother reading Ayn Rand in the Spoke Cafe.
Dangerous. Well, not necessarily, but like.
Yeah, go on. So
like,
Ayn Rand, why?
Honestly, I had heard of her in philosophy on the surface level, and then for like 3 years now, I've always been like, I'm gonna read that book eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, I saved up enough. What's it called? Indigo, like no.
Indigo.
Money. Saved up enough. Like I think it's Indigo points. So like I had like
broke lifestyle, but go on.
Like man, I had to save points before I could get it. And so I got the book just with points from like chapters or whatever.
So you read a lot of books?
Yeah, I used to honestly before music. That was the way I'm putting time into music now is how I used to put time into books.
Really?
It's really like it's just I've fallen off in the last couple of years, but I still try and get it in every now.
Okay, I know we're going on tangents, but like, what kind of books? Like, because I'm so fascinated by books.
Initially, it was just anything I could get my hands on. Well, actually, no, that's
fiction,
yes.
Non-fiction?
I was big into fiction.
Yeah.
Oh really?
I was given Harry Potter when I was like, we were still in Nigeria. I was like 6, 7.
Yeah.
And because I read so often, I could read quickly as well. So like I was just tearing through stuff like that. I finished this fiction section of my library in middle school. And from there, one of my favorite series from there. Do you ever hear of actually 2? When I was young, I did like the Goosebumps series by R.L. Stine. I was like, it's easy reading, but I was like, these are good stories. And then the second was, have you ever heard of Philip Pullman or The Golden Compass?
I know The Golden Compass. Yeah.
They're gonna do the thing on HBO.
Is it the one with the polar bear, right?
Yes.
No.
Like the series is called His Dark Materials. One of the most phenomenal. I read it in even in middle school. Like I'm sure there's some things I couldn't grasp, but I was like, yo, this level of writing is different.
What about non-fiction? Because I'm not too into the fiction right now.
Non-fiction. I like Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. I did a lot. That was good.
That's a good one.
I did get into self-help a bit with the Robert Greene books, so like Mastery and
Laws of Human Nature.
Human Nature, Power. Who else did I like? Do you ever hear of the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis? He's the same guy that did Lion, Witch and Wardrobe.
Yeah.
He also had those. Damn, it's tough to like roll them off without.
Why do you like Screw Tape? Because like apparently C.S. Lewis I don't know if it's C.S. Lewis or the guy who wrote Alice in Wonderland. Apparently one of them's like really cool and like crazy.
The Alice in Wonderland guy.
Yeah.
He's wild. Those books are good though. Alice in Wonderland and.
Why do you like the Screw Tape?
Man, I can't even remember big picture details now. But I remember reading it and thinking it gave me an interesting grasp about religion, because it's letters between, if I remember correctly, something to do with the devil and the person or people. And reading it, I was like, this is just an interesting concept. Like I haven't how would that conversation go? Until I saw it, I didn't even consider what that would be like.
Yeah.
So just reading through it, I don't even know if I ever finished it, but I think I got through a decent chunk of it.
Yeah.
I should read it again.
So guys, I got a question. This is even thrown out to you guys. You know how there's fictional movies, non-fiction movies, fictional books, non-fiction books. Why is there no fictional music?
A lot of music is.
Oh no, a lot of music is based off the person.
I don't know.
Like
I think
experiences of the person,
No,
or
a
real person.
They are. I think they call those concept albums. For the most part, I think.
And I
Can you name me one? I can't even think of one.
You can argue Good Kid, Mad City. That's based on true story, but
him. That was based off him.
So you mean pure fiction is like it didn't happen to me, but I'm writing about it?
Yeah. Like a story of a boy that never existed in your life, or a guy, a girl, or whatever.
The Cool, Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, you just proved me wrong.
Because that's the story about. It chronicles the life of a guy, but never is just like concepts of what he's going through.
Right. Okay.
So and I feel like a lot of artists have done stuff like that.
I
like that. That's a deep question. So where were we at now? Yeah. So Ayn Rand Fountainhead. Oh wait, we forgot about that. That question is that one. That's Win, like you said. That's Win. Ayn Rand Fountainhead. Yeah. Yeah. So what were your impressions of the book?
For Atlas Shrugged, right?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I still haven't finished it, and this is as I was reading through the book. When I got a third of the way through, I was like, "This is the greatest book I've ever read."
Wow.
I knew because I was like, "These are the things." I'm like, I see this in myself. I see this in other people. As I was reading it, my worldview was changing, and that's usually how I gauge the effect of a book. As I read through it, if I read through the whole thing and nothing really changes, probably not that great. But it might have been a great read, but not that great in terms of its effect. But as I was reading it, I was like, I'm seeing and thinking about things differently because I'm reading this thing the way it is. Everything. I don't know if you guys have read the book, but I see value differently because of how I read that thing. I see value differently. I see money differently. Even the concept of hard work, charity, giving, all those. I see all those things a little differently because I read that book.
What book? What's the name of this book?
Ayn Rand Fountainhead.
Atlas
Shrugged. Sorry. I don't want you to give too much away because I feel like I'm going to read the book soon as well. Because based on what you said, and I wasn't following her from a distance. But what would you say was one of some of the key? Don't give her too many spoilers. I want to watch it, but What are some of the key takeaways you got from that book?
I loved her style in terms of, okay, so some people's critiques of this book, even before I read the book, I was just like, people said, oh, she's not a good person, she's this, that, and the third. And I was just like trying to see, okay, what's the real fundamental problem? Is that she was either too selfish, or she painted the world as more, she made it seem easier to survive than it really is, those kinds of things. Yeah. And I was like, okay, fair enough, let me read it and see. So, and I liked how she, at least to me, she took the best and the worst of human qualities as she saw them, and she put them into characters in a way that was very relatable. It's a philosophy book, but it's a story. Mm-hmm. And that I don't see, even just saying that, if someone had told me that was a thing people can do, I'd be like, I wonder how that concept would play off. But I was, even reading it, I thought she executed brilliantly. Because she puts people at poles, or like some extremes somewhat. But then that's the beauty of it, because you can see where you fall along that spectrum. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm the worst person in the book, and I'm like, damn, I've done some of these things that really, quite frankly, disgust me. Sometimes I see qualities in the best people in the book, I'm like, I've done this stuff as well. And I can see on a human level where I fall doing these things. And like, I can, because I've seen it now in a book form, I can see where I want to be, and like tailor my behavior so it fits those patterns as opposed to the other ones. So that was a big takeaway for me.
I like that. Third last question now, coming to the closing of the interview.
We're just not going to do the 25 days, is it?
No, he did actually say music executive.
Yeah.
Stuff. What are you currently obsessed with? So this can be anything: Instagram channel, workout at the gym, a new recipe, food, YouTube channel, anything. What are you currently obsessed with?
Watching the Raptors win.
No, you can't give him a hint because it's gonna anchor his mind.
No, it's been two things.
You just gave a bunch of hints.
No, just because sorry, I'm not a hypocrite. The reason I did that is because a lot, like at first when I asked me what are they obsessed with, you'd be like, oh, I'm obsessed with making the world a better place, or I'm obsessed with solving problems that are hard.
No.
Something just fun and fun.
I'm candid. Like the last week, I've really been into FIFA, man. Like I've been there every day. Like, you know what it was? I was very good at FIFA as a kid. I don't know what the people doing it professionally are like, but I was, at least among my friends, and they played every day. I was among the better players there. Then I fell off, FIFA 13, I came back, and I came back crazy. I was killing everyone. Some of the guys I played with played online, like played super competitive, like whatever, like top 1 league in the world, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I could hang with those guys. I was like, look at where I am.
Well, yeah.
Look at me. Mom, your son, you know. I was like, I came a long way. Then I fell off again. And I was talking crazy to people because of what I thought I was, and I lost to someone I had no business losing to, and I was humbled. And ever since then, I beat him crazy after that, but then I'm still in my mind like I can never let this happen again. So I've been training.
Have you ever thought of going into like
a professional thing?
Yeah, professional gaming. I mean, it's becoming a huge thing now.
Honestly,
huge.
I don't know. I don't know how much time I'd have to put into it, but I'd be down. I feel like at least for FIFA, that's the one I could easily do. I wouldn't feel like, oh, I have to. It's fun, just fun. Even if I'm doing it a lot, it's fine.
I was thinking about that. If I had a lot of time, man, I'd be playing FIFA.
Yo, actually,
just become professional.
I'll even say what I've been doing. So like, I started a season with Leeds.
Yeah.
And I just got them promoted. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, like everything tough.
Yeah.
It's not that crazy, but just in a way like
world class and every, or whatever it's called.
Like, so I got promoted the first year.
Yeah.
Second year, I 3 points away from relegation. It was so crazy. I lost oh my goodness. I was so cheesed. Every game I'm like, how did I lose? How did I? But then I managed to fix my team. I bought Renato Sanchez. I bought Calvert-Lewin from Everton. I got Zinchenko, the left back from City. My team is actually looking pretty nice now. And like right now I'm fourth. No, I'm fifth. I'm fifth in the league now.
Fifth in Premier League.
We forgot to introduce. He's also a manager of Leeds United.
There you go. But I'm open to moving to any other teams, you know.
Jeez.
I wouldn't say no.
So second last question now.
Yes.
If people are finding the stuff that this man's dance, who does that think he is? Jeez, okay. So if anybody found Del.Game, if anybody found this, you're saying cool, interesting, want to find out more about you.
Yes.
If you want to plug anything, want to tell me about what you're up to.
Right. This is the time. Okay. Cool. Well, I have a lot of stuff. All my music is available through either my Instagram or my website. My Instagram is Del.Game. That's DELGOTGAME with no space in between. Del.Game. And my website is delmusic.net, and all my music is available through there. I have a music video up as well. So if you're interested, you like some R&B, some rap, some chill vibes, I'm your guy.
Yeah. And you said you're doing a show, you have an EP, you want to tell us more? Like, I know it's still low-key, but can you tell us a bit more about what that's up to? What's it going to sound like?
For the EP, I'm hoping to drop in fall. It's
So what's your website?
Oh, delmusic.net.
Okay, so tell us about the EP.
I'm hoping to drop it in fall. It's going to be a continuation of the first EP that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And the first EP was called Songs About Her.
So what songs? Dude, songs about her.
Mm-hmm.
Another artist has a song album like that name.
Oh, who does?
I have to Google it.
Okay, interesting. I thought it was original. I guess not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what can we expect though? Like, is it going to be a rap? I know not to be selling, put you in a box.
Oh no.
Let me put you in a box.
Because I have a lot of singles that have to do with rap coming.
You can play one of them.
Will you not copyright strike us?
No, go for it.
Is it
okay? Songs about her. This is it. There's an artist that has a song by this name.
Are you sure it's not Songs About Jane by Maroon 5?
Yeah. Songs About Jane, maybe I'm thinking of.
Time before you texted back. I took my time and you hated that.
Ooh. Took your time and you hated that. Anyway, is this one you do for graduation or?
Yeah.
You know one thing we could do? If you give us permission, I'd love to use some of your songs for the intros.
Yeah, please. Feel free.
Like for this episode, if you do for other episodes as well, and then we'll link intro by Del to get you some more coverage.
Please do.
And he also wants to collab with you in a rap, so
Why you also do it like you do it? You do it. Well, yeah, Nigerian, Canadian rapper, singer, alt-R future soul. Del got him on IG.
And manager of Leeds United.
It's crazy, man.
The next show. Your next show. You didn't even tell us about this.
Yeah, it's June. It's gonna be June 30th.
Is it down here in Toronto?
Yeah, but it's a secret show. I'm waiting for them to announce it before I put it up on like official things. But actually, I guess I can tell you guys now. Yeah. It's like close enough. June 30th. I'm gonna be at the Baby G for R&B Sounds. So come through. It's at 7 p.m. Gonna be a bunch of other talented performers.
Is that a bar or is it like you have to buy tickets to see?
I think it's. Has it $10?
$10?
I think it's $10.
Okay, so buy your tickets soon.
Yeah.
It's not a bar, so you just can't walk in. So make sure you get your tickets.
Follow him on Twitter as well too, eh? Well, the cartoons. Where do you get the cartoons from?
I was gonna ask you that.
I have an illustrator. She actually went to Western.
Really?
And like we've never met in real life, but we had a mutual friend who put us in contact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've been talking ever since, and and I love her stuff.
What's her name? Let's shout her out.
Her name is Rowan. Rowan. I'm not sure her last name. I should know that. But actually, I can find her Instagram.
Yeah, let's put her Instagram. You know, we all about showing love on Atila TV.
With it. Rowan Makes Art. If I'm not mistaken.
ROWAN?
Yes. Yeah, that's her.
What a boob. I hope there's nothing inappropriate here.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
It's Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh man, very talented.
She's really good.
Shout out Rowan, man.
Shout out.
She is really good.
Shout out.
I hope she sees this. I'm actually gonna like.
What a boob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what you can do? You see that? Let's move on.
That's funny.
When we release this, you should like show her
Yeah.
and be like, "Yo, I shouted you out. We got you some free press. You know, shout out Rowan." Final question for you.
Yes.
So it's a 2-part question. You can answer both. You can pick which one you want. If there's a final thought, final advice, final piece of advice you want to get to someone watching this right now, what would it be? Or think back to Del at 10, Del at 12, Del at 16. Basically, if you were to write a letter to your younger self, what would you say?
Okay, I'll do the second one first and the first one second. If I was going to say anything to my younger self, I'd tell him he has to keep his head up and be confident about doing the things he wants to do. Because I feel like that's something that when I was young, I don't even know why necessarily. Like, I was good at things, but for whatever reason, I felt like I had a lot of happy to be here about myself. I didn't really put my head into things saying, this is me, I can do this, I'm the one for this kind of thing. But as I grew up, I sort of fell into that with like music and other things. So that's probably the biggest one. Even if you have to fake it before you make it, whatever it is that gets you into that space, into that zone, I feel like you need to own the space you want to walk into before you actually get there. And, hopefully things work out for you. Yeah. And the first question was...
What's what final thought or advice to someone watching this?
I think you have to embrace difficult things. That's probably the biggest thing. Especially when you look at like Instagram or not even Instagram. okay, any social media, all these interviews that people do, you always see the glamour behind things. You always see the finished article. You always see that finished process, but you never see that climb or the stress it really took to get from A to B. And even in my own personal life, I found like that's something I can really improve on, like my resilience, perseverance with a lot of things. And music helps me. It forces me to like practice that. So if there's anything I can say, it would be to embrace that things probably will get difficult no matter what you want to do, however easy or hard you think the job or goal is. But accept it, put in the work, put in the time, find like-minded people, and, things should be okay.
And that's Del.
That's Del God Game.
All day. Oh, wow. Sorry. Okay, we have to keep that in there. That was good.
Yeah.
Everything stays.
Yeah.
And on that note, that finishes another episode of Atila TV. Thank you for watching. Catch us on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts.
Check him out on Spotify as well.
You can check him out on Spotify too.
iTunes
as well.
Yeah, Tidal.
What else?
Really? Shout out Jay-Z, man.
SoundCloud.
So everything. I'm on everything.
Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Smash that follow button.
Smash that dislike button if you don't like it.
There's gonna be links all over the place.
Okay.
Let me put one here. Let me put one here.
There. Alright. I was under the point to stuff that's
Anyway,
right, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Let's go. Check. She ain't gotta tell me what to do with it. I already